Hi everyone, Renee here. Today we're making a very healthy veggie and broccoli cream soup. You can lose a lot of weight with this recipe if you have it for dinner, a good breakfast, and this for dinner and lunch. A lot of weight. And it's very healthy and it has a lot of really good ingredients. And it's very simple. I'm going to show it to you today. Like I said, it's a broccoli vegetable cream soup, and it is very wholesome and filling and absolutely delicious and simple. We're going to use an immersion blender, but if you don't have one, if you do not have one, you can use a food processor or a regular blender. Just make sure you vent it. It will be warm. So just make sure with warm ingredients it's vented and mix it. You can just put it in that. You can have it as chunky or smooth as you want. You can even keep this cubed up chunky. It's delicious. But I like to use the immersion blender and do it that way. But like I said, always say anything goes. So right here we just have, for our fresh vegetables, we just have 3 cups of broccoli. And we have a half a cup of celery, a half a cup of carrots, and a half a cup of the onions. That's it for the vegetables, except for our potatoes over there, which we have 2 cups. I just got them sitting in water now so they don't brown, but there's 2 cups of potatoes. And I just use a yellow potato or a Yukon Jack is good. And then in here for spices, we just have 2 teaspoons of chicken broth, or you can use 4 bouillon cubes, chicken bouillon cubes. But I have 2, heaping chicken, just chicken seasoning. And then we have also 2 teaspoons of minced garlic in here. And we have a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper, but it's to your taste, of course. So we have 3 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock. Like I said, we have the 2 cups of cut up potatoes. And here we're going to put in last, after we simmer all this up, we've got half a cup of milk. You can use any kind of milk. I use 1%. And we have a cup of Colby Jack here and a cup of cheddar. Just makes a really good sauce. And you can cut that back if you want, but that's what this recipe calls for. But like I said, you can kind of do what you want. This just comes out really good and turns out awesome. But for now, what we're going to do is just take a little bit of the stock, throw just a little bit in here, a splash. I'm going to cover this up for 8 minutes in the microwave. I'm going to nuke it, and like I said, I'm going to cover this up, put a little bit of chicken stock in here just for a little bit of moisture, and then I'm going to cover this up and I'm going to put it in the microwave 8-9 minutes. I'll probably do 8 minutes, and then we're going to get the stuff ready and go on with the recipe. We're going to put it in a pot. Okay, I just put in here about 1/4 of a cup or a little under of the chicken stock, chicken broth in here before I cover it up, and I'm putting in a tablespoon of olive oil. And we're going to cover it up and get it in the microwave. Okay, we pulled our veggies out and we had microwaved them for 8 minutes on high, covered 8 minutes, and we took them out. We put the chicken stock in here, and we put the potatoes in here. We threw them in here and then grabbed the veggies out of the microwave and added the veggies. We've got this on a medium-high heat. We're going to bring this to a boil. When it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down to a simmer, cover it up, and let it simmer for 30 minutes. We're going to check it. Okay, our veggies have come to a boil, so we're going to cover it up. And we're going to let it simmer on low. We're going to turn it down to a simmer, cover it up, and check it in 30 minutes. Okay, our veggies have all simmered with the lid on for 30 minutes. They look good. They're steaming, and we're going to use the immersion blender. I'm going to get it in here, and we are going to immerse them. Okay, we've used the immersion blender, got it to where we want with smoothness. Like I said, you can keep this rough or you can keep it smoother. Now we're just going to put this back on low real quick and put it on the pot. As you can see, it's still steaming, so it's nice and warm when I use the immersion blender. We're just going to put in our milk and our cheese and let that melt. You can actually shred this. It's probably better to use real chunk cheese because it just doesn't have the additives and preservatives, and it's a more creamy texture. So, and like I said, this is Colby Jack and cheddar. So we're going to just add these in here in the puree and on low and get these all melted. As you can see, we added our milk and our cheese in there. We just got it on a low simmer. We're just stirring it and let it melt in. And my tip for today is we use a lot of tomatoes. We use organic tomatoes. You can use whatever kind you want, of course. I keep mine in the refrigerator, which is, again, another little bit. Some people do, some people don't. I do. I think they stay nice and fresh and firm. And I wash them and tip them upside down. They're tipped upside down and washed. And they stay fresh good 3, 4, 5 days longer for me. Okay, our creamed veggie and broccoli soup is done. It's cooling and we're going to be eating. It is really creamy, has a lot of flavor, and like I said, you will drop a lot of weight eating this. And it is all the textures and all the flavor and taste, and it's filling, and it's really good, and it's just packed with vegetables. You can use a little less cheese if you'd like. That's fine. Keep some of the sodium out. This is full of flavor. I just put a little bit of fresh scallions on top with just a little chunk of cheese, a little chunk of cheddar cheese, and we're going to serve it with crackers. But it does not disappoint with all the flavors. Hope you enjoyed today's recipe. This is Renee. Happy cooking and baking.